going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is Collateral Cinema.
Welcome to a special At the Movies edition of Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast, so whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it.
Much like what we are doing right now, isn't that right, Robert?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely, right?
Can't wait for these sessions.
Oh, yeah. This is starting to become like our little sanctuary here, right? Right, y'all?
Yeah,
Most
definitely. You know, we've recorded like 3 episodes pretty much back to back over the last week, so that's been pretty cool. And we're here to talk about something that I am so excited about. Since the night I saw it opening night, I've been begging you guys, you got to watch it. You got to watch this. You're going to freak out. And that is Deadpool and Wolverine. And the reason in particular I really wanted to talk about it with you guys is this movie is in many ways a love letter to the early 2000s superhero cinema.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you get into the Sony X-Men verse and everything. Like,
you mean the Fox X-Men verse?
Yeah, the Fox universe. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sony is a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Right?
You know, it's all good.
Yeah, that's the Spider-Verse, more or less. Yeah, but the Fox Marvel movies, especially the X-Men movies, were, very much products of their time, but I mean, they've aged well enough that people can go back and actually get a lot of enjoyment out of them, even the not so good ones, But this right here, this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's very much like kind of outside of the MCU for me, right? I mean, it kind of feels like it's almost ancillary to it in a way.
Well, and this is in addition to the MCU's growing multiverse, and I think this is the multiverse that, honestly, we were waiting for a few years ago. With just, oh my God, the number of gratuitous cameos. I mean, they just dialed it up to 11 in this one. We're gonna keep the spoiler free, so we're not gonna spoil those cameos, but. Oh my God! Half of it's on the internet already, to be honest. But
honestly, just go on like Threads or Twitter for about like 5 minutes, and you're gonna come across pretty much all the spoilers. You probably know who it is, but we're not going to get into that. But I will say that he totally said the thing. He said the thing, man. He totally said the thing, y'all.
I was so ready for you guys to hear that line, because that line to me, and what's funny is that particular scene. I mean, I watched this opening night, so I heard the crowd reactions, and there were a lot. And when that character was introduced, that was probably the loudest the crowd got. That and at the very, very end, when we get into that final battle with that one moment, golly, it's so hard to talk about this.
Yes.
But
oh man,
that particular line, I actually didn't hear a whole lot of people cheering for, but I was excited for it because it's one of those things, and we've talked about it on a previous episode, so our listeners may actually know what we're talking about here. But yeah, that line is just so iconic and maybe not as well known as some of the other references that they made in this film, but there is a surprise for everyone here. I just got to say, anyone that grew up watching superhero cinema, I mean, all the way from the 2000s up to the present day, I mean, we've got a reference to everything from the Fox universe, the MCU, and beyond here.
I would really say that in many ways, this is the first movie of its kind to really be referential in regards to the 2000s, probably for the first time in a long while,
since
at least in
No
a
Way
meaningful
Home.
way. Yeah, since No Way Home at the very least.
It felt like X-Men 1 and 2 a little bit, right?
It did, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they brought a lot of characters back from the original trilogy of X-Men films here, actually. And I'll go ahead and say that.
Because the trailer and the preview, everybody knows Sabretooth back. So
Yeah, I mean that's at least one of the cameos that they were able to drop. And if you watch the movie, you'll see why they were able to drop him so early.
in the actor that played Sabretooth, that's actually the Rob Zombie's Michael Myers, right?
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
Exactly.
And
Nice.
he's the one that
Yeah.
played him in X-Men 1. So interestingly here, they've used the versions from the original trilogy of X-Men films, the Bryan Singer films, I believe. And not the ones, from the later revised timeline or the younger versions of the characters. This almost exclusively relies on that era. And it's got plenty of references to other superhero media outside of the X-Men, and then that's just what makes this so exciting in so many ways. It was just left and right, and you've got all these little pop culture references, character cameos, and what's funny is that this is all referenced in Universe 2 because of Deadpool's nature as the fourth wall breaking character he is. So we're getting all sorts of things and even meta commentary on the status of superhero cinema today as compared to them. And this is in many ways a send-off for a lot of those characters and films, but it's also making a lot of commentary on, the way that the audience sees it. And the MCU isn't new to ragging on itself. It did plenty of that in She-Hulk and as well. But, even Deadpool just talking about the Fox and Disney acquisition, that's brought up several times. We see the fucking Fox logo in the trash heap that is the Void.
That was classic, and then to have that fight go down right in front of it's like, I mean, pretty much the ghosts of 20th Century Fox just kind of duking it out in the last vestiges of that particular IP and everything, of that particular company. So I mean, yeah, there's lots of nice little subtle satirical jabs at superhero cinema and also the culture around it a little bit,
There's even a critique on the multiverse thing, because we're all, I think as a whole, in general, I hear a lot of complaints about how the multiverse thing is played out, which is unfortunate for Marvel Studios since, they're kind of banking on that for this whole saga. But I got to say, there's a way to do multiverse right, where it feels refreshing. And for a lot of people, this may just feel like nostalgia baiting, and it really is just fan service. But you know what? God damn it, I'm a fan and I like to be serviced.
I think that this is probably the first movie of its type in a while that actually kind of did fan service right, probably since No Way Home. I mean, a lot of the other types jabs at fan service has been, a little contrived, a little, at least from what I've seen. And this time around, it actually feels right because it's a Deadpool movie. Because the framing of Deadpool is, like you said, the constant fourth wall breaking and the constant banter and everything, and the constant jokes at the expense of other superhero IPs and whatnot. So it kind of makes sense that they could kind of do that within the construct of a Deadpool movie, because it's already malleable like that. It already was, if you know anything about the first two movies.
That, and even going back to the comics, because in many ways this is partially an adaptation of, or it takes inspiration from stories like Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe and Deadpool Kills Deadpool. So there's already a framework for that with this character. It makes perfect sense. Of course, we have the setup at the end of Deadpool 2 during the post-credit scene where he's already traveling the multiverse. So, as soon as this movie was announced, we already knew kind of where it was going. We see the shots of the TVA taking him in, and we're getting an introduction to the greater multiverse within the narrative of this character. And it's also an excuse to bring back Hugh Jackman in the role of Wolverine, which, in a lot of ways has defined the cultural image of this character in a way that it's like, can we really have anyone else but Hugh Jackman in the claws?
Absolutely not, and I mean the funny thing is one of the cameos, which we won't say who it is, although y'all know who it is the only thing we'll say that it is a Wolverine variant, and it's like, I don't know, it's even kind of difficult to see that person in the role of Wolverine. It's a little kind of difficult for me to see that as well. You know what I mean, Robert?
Oh yeah, I don't think I wanted to see it.
I'm not sure. Like, maybe it could work, but I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I saw some rumor. I saw a rumor pop up today in my feed that there maybe actually are planning on having him be the MCU Wolverine. But that kind of counters another thing I heard, which was that Kevin Feige said that they don't intend to recast him anytime soon. As Deadpool puts out what's the word I'm looking for? As Deadpool points out, yes,
till you're 90. And yes, no, that's something we can go ahead and spoil, because he's going to be doing that shit till he's 90. He's not wrong.
Which is funny, because he was supposed to retire with Logan, and he said he was done with the character. It was a perfect send off for the character. We'll touch on that here in a minute too. But so nobody really expected him to come back, and so, the MCU has this task of who to bring in. And honestly, I love the way that the very first video that we saw of this put it. It was just, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman sitting at home hanging out. And Ryan's like, hey, Hugh, you want to come back and do a Deadpool movie with me? Sure, Ryan.
Yeah, that was great. It was just so nonchalant, so casual. But it's like we got probably quite possibly one of the better cinematic pairings that we've had in a good while here. I heard that they took a lot of cues from movies like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like stuff like that. A little bit, and basically in how it really reinforces the tropes of the old school buddy comedy. And I mean, I don't know, maybe we've needed an R-rated buddy comedy for the longest time, because I mean, when was the last one? Like maybe Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, like at least the last good one. Harold and Kumar, maybe.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, yeah, you can, if you want to argue that that's a buddy movie. I guess it kind of is.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Buddy.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? One of the ideas that was pitched for this movie during development was that they were going to actually literally market it as a buddy cop movie with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, completely unrelated to Marvel or superheroes. And then, like 5 minutes in the film, they revealed that it was actually Deadpool and Wolverine. They nixed that idea, but I think that that's really interesting that was like ever on the drawing board.
Seriously, it really is, I mean, and it kind of speaks to all the different possibilities that you can do with the universe of Deadpool, or like we've said, with Deadpool as a character and as a framing device in his own right. I mean, there's just so many ways that you could take this.
You really could, and I feel like they've taken it in the best way possible. What's cool about this whole thing is that I believe it was Ryan Reynolds who actually pitched the idea to Hugh Jackman and why he returned. And what they needed to do was find a way to bring the character in, and then to find a way to do so without shitting on what Logan did as a film. And I finally watched that for the first time, actually, the other day. I know it took me forever, but I watched it as prep, along with most of the X-Men movies and prep for this movie. Yeah, I mean, it is just a fantastic movie, fantastic ending. You really don't want to have it go on after that. And the way that this movie has managed to sidestep it and what everyone's thought since its inception was really obvious, is just, well, we've got the multiverse, and Deadpool 2 already set that up. The MCU's already doing multiverse, so let's take Deadpool and let's take Wolverine, specifically the Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman versions, and let's bring them into the MCU. Well, sort of is actually what they end up doing, but that idea was already planted in the mind. So I don't think it's a spoiler to say like that this is not the version of Logan that we see in that movie. They do touch on the movie and it's treated with reverence and also not treated with reverence.
Very much so. Yeah, that opening sequence. That was incredible. Yeah.
But this is, in a way, it's reverence because this is detached. This is saying, yes, we're still acknowledging that happened. The film acknowledges it. And then, we have the multiverse now that we can go from. And so we get to see a lot of different multiversal versions of both Wolverine and Deadpool in this movie. And they really go balls to the wall with some of these. Like I said, we don't want to spoil too much, but I mean, plenty of references to comic books and to other adaptations of these works. I mean, just galore. It is fucking awesome. And even going back to some of the arguments, about whether Hugh Jackman was a good choice for Wolverine, as was controversial back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's difficult to think of Hugh Jackman as anyone else or Wolverine as anyone else, like we said earlier. But I mean, also finally seeing him play a version of Wolverine that's probably kind of closer to the real comics, like even with the actual suit and design and everything.
Yeah, they brought the costume back, as Wade puts it, you actually look like you're not afraid to be in a superhero movie.
Exactly, right? I mean, for the longest time, Hugh Jackman, he would just most of the time just kind of dress up like a normal schlub as Wolverine, right? In very normal clothes.
Even the like original X-Men uniforms were just black leather, which I thought it was great that X-Men 97 got to rag on it, and they did a revenge take on Cyclops's. What would you prefer, yellow spandex line in X-Men 1? They did a revenge take, and X-Men 97 goes, "What'd you expect? Black leather?"
Ooh, nice.
I thought that was cool. But you're right. I mean, most of the time, he doesn't even do the black leather anymore. It's usually just, as they point out in the film, shirtless.
Yeah, just straight up shirtless. Exactly. And we do get Hugh Jackman shirtless for a little bit. And yeah, I mean, the man's like, what, 52 years old or something like that?
Ooh, he's still got it.
It's like, he got it. No. He's looking good, man. He looks great. He looks like he looks like he can last till 90. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
To be fair, he's one of those actors that's mostly ageless. I mean, yeah, if you compare him with X-Men 1, I mean, you're going to see some differences, some lines on his face, but he really is perfect for the role in the sense that he doesn't age very much at all. They had to do quite a bit to him to make him look that much older in Logan. It looked like, they added some gray in and had him grow out his beard and everything just because.
Yeah, he looked like Mel Gibson pretty much.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, right?
It was like, that's Mel Gibson.
Which, by the way, this movie has overtaken Passion of the Christ as the highest grossing R-rated movie ever. So there's that. It's like, yeah, take that, Mel Gibson. Take that, Jim Caviezel.
I mean, he really said, "I am Marvel Jesus."
He is Marvel Jesus, but Jim Caviezel is crazy Q-Nut Jesus. So I guess it's par for the course, right? I mean, shit.
But yeah, the team of these characters, you can take a character like Logan, the Wolverine, who is just the serious guy, take his last appearance in Logan, which was this completely, totally and tonally dark, serious film. And you can actually use that to have him play the straight man to Deadpool's antics. And in a way, it feels like something that Deadpool kind of needs.
Yeah, he needs an actual real straight man, and he finally found the best straight man ever. You know, and Hugh Jackman plays it so well because, I mean, the version of Wolverine that he's playing, he's already at his lowest point. So it's like he pretty much figures, hey, how much lower can I go?
Yeah, the dynamic between these characters is definitely the heart of this film, and it's great. And just seeing them, you know, among all of the faces that you see in this movie, I mean, there's another cameo they do, which is a bait and switch. Total bait and switch.
Yes. Absolute bait and switch.
That was one of the other ones that everybody freaked out about. I mean, it was just like, you know, because you think it's you know, the actor playing this one character, and then he's playing a different one, and they just wow. But most people even forgot about that. That's what was cool, is like you kind of see all these faces popping up, and you're like, oh wait, yeah. There's even a face in this movie. There's a cameo, or even more than a cameo, really. That a character who was planned to be in a film, who really, really, really wanted to make something happen, but never did, and he finally got his chance.
Well, now there needs to be a movie featuring this character, especially, or it needs to feature prominently in the future mutant era of the MCU, because that was actually a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah. Yeah, we get to see, you know, what would have been. We get to kind of see these characters that just fizzled off and went nowhere in the past. You know, maybe one of their movies were successful, or maybe none of them were. And we get to see them come back now and really get the ending that they deserve. But obviously, you know, most of the screen time is going to be spent on the principal two, which is Logan and Wade. And Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman just play off each other so well. It feels like a match born in heaven. I mean, and these are characters that were born to play these characters. These are characters in the comics who are inextricably linked. I mean, I believe in the comics, Wade's healing factor actually does come from Logan.
Yeah.
And just to see these actors play off each other in such an enjoyable and an entertainable way. I mean, oh my God, man. I was orgasming the whole time, guys.
Yeah, no shit, man. That was crazy.
But yeah, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine just delivers on so many fronts. I mean, if you're looking for a superhero movie that goes a little bit deeper, that has, you know, this sort of profoundness and there's a rich, complex story, something like Logan or The Dark Knight, that's not what this is. But if you've watched the previous two Deadpool movies, then you know what you're in for, and that's what this is. And in my opinion, it's the best out of the three Deadpool movies.
It is. I mean, but I am going to say one thing about it. I do feel like the emotional core of the movie is a little lacking, somewhat. And I understand, yeah, that's not the kind of movie we're used to, but I mean, hell, we barely even see him and Vanessa really interact all that much. And, you know, it's just like, I don't know. It's like I wish that they could have given him a little more there to work with. If they really wanted him to kind of, you know, take the character arc that they wanted him to. But other than that, it's really entertaining. It's a really fun movie to watch with friends and with other people. It's really fun.
Well, and I will say, I actually have a couple things on the Vanessa front. I think that, you know, one thing that fans might have been complaining about, I don't know if anybody actually was. I think I've heard someone complain about it. But, you know, like the first two films, Deadpool's whole focus was on Vanessa. And like she was kind of the motivation for everything. So I know some people weren't as happy with that approach. And so kind of moving it away might have worked better. But on a note about what you said about the emotional way, where it doesn't have as much of an emotional impact storyline-wise. I think it, you know, as in the context of the actual story, there is sort of one in the meta-narrative that it's telling, you know, because like I said, I mean, this is playing on, you know, the emotions of people that watch these films growing up. And I mean, you guys actually, in the version you watched, I don't think you got to see the end credits sequence, because the end credits sequence actually has a bunch of behind the scenes footage of Fox films over the years, which really kind of wraps it up with a nice bow, and then they've got it playing to Green Day's Good Riddance, and it actually kind of pushes that little extra emotional weight there, because that's what the movie is telling, is this kind of a send-off for this era. Did you guys even watch the post-credit scene? I sent it to you.
I watched some of it, yeah.
Don't really remember, but probably not.
That's fucking hilarious. No, go watch the post-credit scene. I sent it to you guys in the group chat. It's fucking amazing because it plays off of an earlier joke in the film, and actually recontextualizes the whole thing. So when you go watch this again, you look at that scene from a whole other perspective.
Oh, you know what? I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I saw that. I watched it.
Yeah. That was
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, even going back to including a post-credit scene, I mean, this is a film for the fans. It's a love letter to the X-Men films, to Fox's superhero movies, and just especially the 2000s era of superhero movies.
Yeah, and that's good, and that is good and everything. My thing is, how long can this work for them? How long will that strategy work? We can't keep just having love letter after love letter to the fans and everything. That's nice, but we already had 3 of them now in the last couple of phases. It's I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Hopefully, it doesn't get as pandering as I'm hoping it's not going to be.
But maybe just with introducing some of these characters back into the narrative, and then setting up something really cool where we can have a sort of another end game, but on a multiversal scale, might actually change people's opinion about the multiverse. Because think about just
maybe
what'll happen when you bring everybody in together in Secret Wars, literally everyone. What are we going to have a movie where we're going to have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and every iteration of all these characters that we've seen over the years all on screen together. Imagine if we got that Avengers moment where we saw all 11 years of 22 films worth of history on screen together at the same time, which was an emotional moment for me. What if we got that, but on this multiversal scale where we got to see everything up to a certain point? And again, you're going back to Love Letter, but that's Secret Wars. That's a few years off from now. So we've got all this time to build it up. Let's tell some great character stories and add some more faces into this. And I don't know, maybe just with the addition of Deadpool and Wolverine in the MCU, we can tell more stories. We can start bringing in the mutants. We can bring in some of the other Fox properties like the Fantastic Four.
Well, yeah, I mean, we already have a Fantastic Four movie coming next year, right? It's either next year or year after.
Right. And the mutants are supposed to be coming. Well, technically, they've come already. I mean, Kamala Khan's a mutant. They already had Professor X back in Multiverse of Madness, and now we've got officially, Deadpool and Wolverine. The thing is if you're looking for any monumental changes to the sacred timeline, if you're expecting this movie to just completely change everything that it means to be Marvel. The Marvel Cinematic Universe now, that's not what this is doing. This is a standalone movie. This is a character-driven movie, but I think it does still open up some possibilities.
I also do like how it is kind of even a little bit of a middle finger to the MCU as well. Just a complete middle finger to all of it. I mean,
it rags on itself a few times. They really do.
It rags on the MCU hard. Let's not beat around the bush there.
They address the lack of quality, lack of perceived quality as of the last phase.
And I will say that's pretty refreshing, man. I will say that, I mean, a lot of the real meta jokes, that is really the better part of this movie, and it does carry a lot of it. But I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to say a lot about this without like really getting into the juicy stuff. And
I know. I mean, I feel like if we were doing just a straight up spoiler episode, we could just kind of really break this movie down a little better. But
because there is so much.
There really is.
Let's talk about the villain a little bit. What did you guys think about her? Cassandra Nova, played by
Cassandra Nova. Yeah, she's Charles Xavier's sister. It's like, I mean, I've never really been that deep into Marvel lore or X-Men lore or anything like that. So this is my first time really hearing of this character. But honestly, the performance by the actress was really, really, really interesting, honestly. Like, I mean, she literally has the power to kind of mind fuck somebody, and I can kind of sort of respect that a little. I can respect that power a bit. I think that if there was a mutant power I would have, that would be my mutant power, is just mind fucking people. So, but also she's cold as fuck as well. You know, once she finds out about the MacGuffin of the story, she goes after it and everything. That's what all I'll say about that. But I mean, she also has a ruthlessness that's that's also affable and endearing. So I mean, yeah, she's an interesting character. I like her.
Yeah, me too. Oh, what did you think, Robert?
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that, really. I mean, I don't know. I like Magneto's character too much, too.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if we got Magneto. If we could have even seen Ian McKellen just be like, "Oh no, keep me out of this," you know, or some kind of joke or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, we've been like, "Nope, keep me out of this. You did not pay me enough for this."
Maybe Kevin Bacon can come back.
Kevin Bacon
as Magneto.
Yeah, right.
First class Magneto. Right?
Kevin Bacon actually is already in the MCU.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think you guys saw the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special where Kevin Bacon plays himself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's now canonically stuck with the Guardians, right?
No, they dropped him off back home, but he is canonically.
That's good.
He canonically exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Earth 616.
Amazing. Hell yeah.
And he has encountered the Guardians. So, yeah, that happened. I was going to say on the topic of the villain, Cassandra Nova, she apparently is one of the most ruthless, evil motherfuckers in the comics. She actually genocides like 16 million mutants or something in their homeland. And
sounds about right. Yeah. No kidding.
She's an evil fucking bitch, man. Like but honestly, like you said, I think they kind of play her in sort of an endearing way here, and they even sort of play a sympathy card with her. I mean, we kind of know why she is what she is, and she even doesn't really quite know, you know, why she is how she is. And
seriously,
I think she plays a very interesting villain here. And you know, the MCU or Marvel movies in general, you know, do tend to have a problem crop up every once in a while with weak villains or underutilized villains. But I felt like she was as strong and as utilized as best as she could be in this movie.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick, so upsy daisy. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider. I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
Life is a
about saving worlds. But you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now.
Boys are so silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
Well, the other thing is that technically she's not the only other villain in the movie. It's like we have another villain at play here. I won't really get into who that villain is, but it's like that villain does play a prominent role in kind of setting the events of this movie forward.
True, I didn't think about that.
So,
Yeah, we have the whole other villain.
Yeah, so yeah, he's really fighting two villains at once, and they're both kind of inextricably linked to each other.
Yeah. Also, this character was featured in the trailers and was announced, but the return, and I think you might have been trying to mention her earlier, Bio, but Daphne Keane as Laura Kinney / X-23.
That was an entertaining return right there because, of course, connecting to Logan, of course, and everything. So, yeah, that was an endearing. That led to some endearing moments.
I think that's where most of the actual story's emotional weight goes, because Wade's story in this one is just more of a personal one. He's just kind of looking at his place in the multiverse. His he wants to know if he really matters, and that's a journey that the character goes through in the comics as well. As he wants to live up to being a hero, but at the end of the day, he's a mercenary. But Logan's journey and her role in it, I think, was where most of the emotional storytelling is in this movie. It was really more because we've already had two movies focused on Deadpool's emotional journey, so to kind of focus a little bit more on Logan was good, and to use her in that because she's one of the more popular characters within that universe.
Yeah.
Within the Fox X-Men universe, or one of them. But by the way, I just wanted to mention how much of a bitch the X-Men movies are. I mean, I watched them in prep for this podcast, and here's what gets me about the X-Men film chronology, okay? And I'm glad we're sending it off because good fucking riddance. Green Day had it right. I'm kidding. Most of the movies are actually pretty good, but the problem with the X-Men film series chronology is that it manages to be confusing, and not even for the reasons that you think it is. Like having multiple timelines because of time travel, that's easy. A baby could understand it. Man, we've done it 1,000 times already in time travel stories. Everybody gets the concept of you time travel and you create a new timeline. That's not confusing at all to me. I get it. I love it. Or stories being told out of order. You want to tell a few prequel films after the fact? Actually, that makes sense. You should do that. I actually agree with the way that they introduced Origins and First Class after establishing the characters first. I think it works best that way. And again, I think your average audience member can understand a story being told out of order. That's not the issue either. No, the issue is that they break their own rules within established timelines. Even the good films do it, like First Class and Days of Future Past. Excellent fucking films, but they just completely contradict actual established facts in the timeline. And that's before the time travel shit comes in.
Man, that's why after X2, I just stopped watching those fucking movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, you're missing out though because some of them are really fucking excellent.
I kind of kid because I did see some of them. I saw the third movie.
Me too.
Now that one sucked.
Yeah, I never saw. I don't know if I ever saw Days of Future Past or anything like that.
Days of Future Past
Or
is really
Apocalypse.
good, actually. First Class is
Yeah,
really good.
I have heard that is one of the best out of the series.
The First Class. I've seen that one maybe once or twice.
I haven't seen the First Class.
The First Class one's pretty cool. You can skip Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. They contradict
Dark Phoenix, I've seen
too
that.
much, and they suck anyway. So I did my X-Men watch through without those. In fact, I watched in mostly release order because I don't think there's really any benefit to watching these movies in chronological order if you were to try to do that. Although I swapped First Class and The Wolverine. That's another good one, also directed by James Mangold. Not the Origins one, but the other one.
Yeah.
That one actually is really fucking good. I swapped the order of those to kind of better fit the self-containing stories they were telling. And actually, it kind of worked for me. And I can make a working timeline that actually works. You just have to accept that there are two characters named Emma Frost in two different eras with the same powers. And you have to accept that sometime between 1973 and 1979 in the original timeline, Magneto and Professor X made up and they reopened the school, and Charles was taking just enough of the medication that it allowed him to walk, but not that it completely eliminated his powers. I don't know. And then he stopped using it. There's a working explanation in there somewhere, but all this is to say that the X-Men film chronology is kind of a shit show, despite the existence of better X-Men films in that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I just never really got into the series proper. So, I mean, but even so, even for someone like me, this movie, I mean, it doesn't really confuse you with a lot of the minutia of those different X-Men movies. That they just kind of bring back a lot of the characters you remember. You know, like you have Toad and Juggernaut and who else was there? There was
Pyro.
Pyro was there. Yeah. Pyro's there. You know, of course, Sabretooth and all them.
Sabretooth, yeah. I think all of them were shown. But you know what's funny is they announced a lot of actors that were going to be in this movie before the movie came out, and everybody was like, oh man, you're giving it all away. But they didn't. Like, there's still so many more surprises. And I think they even threw some fake ones in there. Because I think I remember hearing about some characters being in the movie, but then, not seeing them. So I think that they actually threw some fake leaks into the mix just to throw everybody off, which was great.
Probably, yeah. And that sounds like the right thing to do if they really want to kind of keep everybody on their toes. So, yeah.
But going back to what you said, Bo, I was actually impressed by how accessible this film is. While still making a reference to all of that stuff that came before it, you can kind of just watch it as its own thing as long as you have a basic understanding of who both Deadpool and Wolverine are. I think you're going to understand this. They even, they introduced the TVA very briefly. And you're missing a lot of the context from Loki, but it's definitely what's necessary to know for the plot is there.
All I saw of Loki was the first episode, and I was able to understand the TVA and everything. So
that episode is actually a really good introduction to the TVA as a whole, to be fair. So I was thinking about
that.
I
was
like, Bo, you watched that one episode, so you're kind of already aware. But they introduced them well enough in the context of the film and what they mean for the story. If you have any other gnawing questions about, this doesn't make sense, or what year is this taking place in, I suggest you do watch that material. But it's not necessary, for the core plot. Or any of the previous X-Men films for that matter. Really, I would suggest watching Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan before this, but they're really not even necessary to do that.
I didn't even watch Deadpool 2 before this.
I've
Honestly.
never seen Deadpool 2 either.
No, I've never even seen it.
Oh man, that's kind of the setup for Deadpool kind of entering the multiverse, so to speak. But even so, I mean, Deadpool's a kind of meta character that you're really not going to question it in the first place. Okay, so he shows up in the MCU to talk to Happy Hogan. Okay, whatever. I don't need any explanation on why he's there.
Right. Exactly.
But, if you were curious, it does tie into where we leave the character at the end of Deadpool 2. But I remember some people had watched Deadpool 2 but hadn't seen the end credit scene, which means, come on, it was 2018. By then, everybody knew the drill. You're supposed to wait for the post credit scenes. But,
yeah, right.
But some people were confused, because Vanessa dies in that movie. And then they were like, oh, wait, how did she come back to life now? Oh, well, you didn't watch the post-credit scene of Deadpool 2 where he brings her back to life by time traveling everywhere.
Stupid.
And then
oh, my God.
And then accesses the multiverse, which is apparently a thing he can do. But it's Deadpool, so you don't question it. And honestly, you really can make everything make sense if you think hard enough about it anyway.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Or if you're as autistic as I am.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I mean, what else can you really say about it? I mean, without really going that deep into it. I mean,
exactly.
No, you're right. We can't do any spoilers.
Yeah. I feel like we might even like have just a so much more like energy filled episode if we get to talk about this sometime. There's got to be an opportunity for us to do a spoiler review on this in the future, because golly.
Maybe that could be something that we can do as our first of the year content, after our Christmas break.
Make it 2 hours long too.
2 hours long? You think we can talk about this shit for 2 hours?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I know Ash could. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I probably could. The answer is whether or not I should.
Exactly. Yeah.
But all right, I guess we're done jerking off this movie. Let's get into our final thoughts, starting with you, Robert.
Yeah, I thought it was a good dual take. Really, comedic humor is pretty funny, and it's like a different side of Hugh Jackman too. I don't know, comedic side, because usually take him serious as Wolverine too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It works because like he does play the straight man in this, but it's with that more comedic tone. You're right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know. I'd try not to be annoyed with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. If I was him, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we actually watched Green Lantern not too long ago, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He doesn't like that film.
You guys actually liked it?
I thought it was pretty okay. It just aged really terribly.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds hates it enough that he shot himself in the head at the end of Deadpool 2 for
I remember that. Yes.
For putting on the ring.
Yes.
But no, that's how he met his wife. That's how he met his wife, though, right?
Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one reference to her in this film.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You might say. Bo, how about you?
I think that, it was entertaining enough. It's exactly what I would expect from Deadpool in the MCU. I think it is a refreshing, real breath of fresh air that they actually went ahead and made this their first real R-rated movie. What you knew was going to happen, because once they tested that one weird Deadpool movie that was PG-13, there was no way they were going to make that work. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't reference some of the stuff they did with Fred Savage in this movie. Honestly,
oh yeah,
but yeah, without going into all the spoilers and everything, I was pleasantly surprised by everybody that showed up. It was a good, like you said, a good send off to the original Fox Marvelverse and everything, and. I'm not going to really say it's my favorite Deadpool movie, though. Of course, the first one is always going to be the best one. But, I still need to see Deadpool 2 before I make that full judgment.
I've heard a lot of people say that Deadpool 1 was stronger. And if you're thinking about it solely from a storytelling perspective, I can see that. But, this movie just hit a lot of emotional highs for me. But I just didn't really feel those emotional highs as much for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing a lot of context
here, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it was definitely fun to watch, and it was definitely engaging. And I mean, I would definitely watch it again to see what all the Easter eggs I could find in there and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, I liked it enough. But I mean, you all know me. I'm a very blasé person when it comes to the MCU, but this is a step in the right direction for it. And if we can do more of this, then maybe I might. And also, scaling back like what they did. Like this is, as far as I know, the only MCU movie coming out this year. I mean, if they keep this up, I might get a little more into it in the future. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because I mean, this movie had a lot, of pressure to put on, which is, is it going to save the MCU? Is it going to make people excited about Marvel movies again instead of being, just the object of everyone's hatred because it's the cool thing to hate on right now? No, seriously, I feel like people just say shit about Marvel movies. Half of the people that are saying it are just saying it because everyone else is saying it. I mean,
yeah, well, Ash, I don't.
Because I know that there's a variation in quality. And I know that there haven't been a whole lot of heavy hitters lately, but to say that it's not cinema, I think is disingenuous, because think about all of the directors and writers that worked on these movies that look up to people like Scorsese. And to hear your hero telling you that your stuff is shit because, well, let's face it, I mean, he probably hasn't watched but a couple of them, maybe a handful.
Well, Ash, the reason that he said it is because it's right. It's right.
But
Scorsese was right.
But then every once in a while you get a movie that is cinema. You get something like Logan. And I'm not even going to put this movie up on that
you're
pedestal.
right. You're right.
But at face value, this is a very self-referential thing. This is going to be good for you if you watched some or all of this growing up. But at its face value, I wouldn't even put something like this on that pedestal, or like The Dark Knight, or even some of the better MCU movies, from at least a storytelling perspective. But I think there are a few that I would actually call like true kino. And like I said back when Endgame came out, you take 20 years of history of fairly seamless continuity, and now we're approaching even more than that, and then you be able to put all that together on one screen. I mean, that's cinema to me. And this movie is, I think, it's an additional perspective on that. It's a meta narrative about that, about the fact that there is good and bad in superhero cinema. And at the end of the day, we're watching it to be entertained. And then the movie succeeds at being entertaining.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Definitely not.
And so for me, it is my favorite Deadpool movie just because of where it was able to take me on the journey and the connection that I have with a lot of this. Because, I mean, this was my childhood. I was fucking watching the X-Men. I was fucking watching, the other Fox superhero movies, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I mean, this really hit home for me. And to see the culmination of that with two actors that were just born for those roles, that excel in them, and even to kind of form, again, a really actually pretty strong meta-narrative discussion. I mean, if you think about it, the entire plot of the movie is actually about that. I mean, why is Wade's timeline disintegrating? Because it's anchor being the one star of the movie that has carried the franchise and is why it's so popular has died. So that is actually, that is representing the Fox universe dying. And we're, we're at a point where we're even starting to wonder, is the sacred timeline, is the MCU going to die out? What have we got to do in order to change that? This movie is full of, again, like a meta narrative on that specific question.
Yeah. I get you there. I get you.
So I think that was really cool. And like, again, I think this movie is at its best when it's making some of those meta jokes and some of those things that have been discussed in film circles and comic book circles. And God damn it, I mean, just to see, Wolverine in that yellow suit, along with a very comic accurate portrayal of Deadpool, comic accurate portrayal of both characters, along with so many others, the hits and the misses over the years. Actually, in a lot of ways, kind of focusing on some of the misses, some of the superheroes that time forgot. When we didn't have the production quality that the MCU has, but arguably had more creativity.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah. The creativity in those early Marvel movies. I mean, they really worked within their limitations, and they really made some endearing films. Like for instance, the aforementioned a movie that we've done before, Blade. You know, that's the original Blade. That's kind of one of those movies. You know,
and that's where modern superhero cinema started, unless you count Batman '89, although that's quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know this is a love letter to all of that. And so, if you grew up with any of those superhero movies, if you have even a basic understanding of who Deadpool and Wolverine are as characters, I suggest you go ahead and watch this. Give it a shot. You don't really have to watch a whole lot to prepare for it. I do think that the Deadpool movies plus Logan are a good starting point if you're looking for something. And if you want to go ahead and watch through all the X-Men movies, that was kind of a blast for me. I got to re-explore those. I hadn't seen most of those in years, actually. I think the majority of those I probably saw in theaters the one time. So,
well, in the end, this movie couldn't be any worse than The Flash.
Oh, I liked The Flash.
Right, Robert.
Flash was cool.
Yeah,
I thought it was. It
was the best movie of all time.
That's another multiverse nostalgia bait movie in a lot of ways, though, huh? But it didn't do it nearly as well.
Damn it! That movie was awful. It was fucking awful.
It was the best thing that ever happened.
Oh my God! Are we gonna have to have another Civil War style
between Batman
episode?
And
is that what we're gonna have to do?
The Civil War between Batman and Superman?
Are we gonna have to have another one of those?
Yes.
Oh no!
In some ways, The Flash was kind of the DC's analog to this already. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was kind of a response to No Way Home, but in a lot of ways, it almost kind of plays like this in some ways.
Flash is the only one who's got those gigawatts, you know?
Oh, God damn it, Robert. God damn it. But the gigawatts do not explain that movie, Robert.
Gigawatts, man.
No, they don't. The gigawatts don't explain how terrible that movie is.
I just don't know why they added George Clooney at the end. That's the only thing I'm curious about. I want to know why that happened. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Why Clooney and why not Kilmer?
That was like a Planet of the Apes ending where it's like somebody else.
They needed Kilmer.
Well, apparently it was James Gunn's idea, and I'm here for most of James Gunn's ideas, but George Clooney at the end of The Flash was weird. This movie did not leave me with a bad taste in my mouth, with a less favorable portrayal of the character showing up out of nowhere unannounced that nobody asked for. So you can give it that if nothing else.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
But anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
So on Collateral Gaming, I guess I'll go ahead and interject there because we usually cut to me at this point and be like, Ash, what's going on in Collateral Gaming?
Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming?
Oh, thanks for asking, Bo. I'm really glad that you asked me that because we are going to be recording part 2 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles as soon as Bo finishes the game. Get on it.
Oh man, the twist that I just got into case 4 of Great Ace Attorney 2. Oh my God. Oh
okay.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're there.
God damn it. Yes, I'm there. It's like no, why? My boy.
My boy, I know.
My boy, man. Exactly, dude. It's like he's like close to my age too, so it's like extra sad.
God damn it! I'm excited for that. We'll have that out as soon as physically possible. We did release an episode on the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree. So go check that out if you haven't. And we'll be doing our next episode on 007 Nightfire, and if we have time for it before September, our season finale on Doom. I don't know. We might end up having to move Doom to the season premiere depending on what happens. But
Robert, you want to play some fucking Doom? You want to get down on some Doom wads?
Old school Doom.
Old school Doom.
Doom 64. Doom.
Old school Doom. Not even Doom. Doom 64 is almost its own thing. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the older one, the PC version.
No, that's the N64 version.
N64
yeah. That's pretty much it. That's its own fucking version of Doom, pretty much.
There's two other Dooms. There's a few Dooms.
Yeah, there's Doom. There's Doom 2. There's the Final Doom. Then there's Doom 3.
Yeah, they're great.
And then there's the more recent Doom games. So
yeah, those modern Dooms. Dang.
Just remember, you've got to kill John Romero to win the game.
John Romero.
Robert, you've got to kill John Romero.
Say Jumanji. No, sir.
This motherfucker. Jumanji. What the fuck?
Jumanji. Sorry.
Well, anyway, what's going on Collateral Cinema, Sugar Bear?
Oh, well, we have the Bike Riders episode out right now.
Well, listen to it like 5 times already.
Oh, so that's where we're getting all those downloads from, huh? Okay.
From my phone.
Okay, coolness. All right, keep doing it, Robert.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. We have our latest At the Movies episode. It's a review of The Bike Riders, starring Austin Butler and Tom Hardy. And we are also going to have our Happiness of the Katakuris Mike-versary episode out very soon. And also, we should be doing another review of Home Movies Season 2 with a special guest. So that'll be coming up very soon. And of course, I can go ahead and confirm the season premiere of Collateral Cinema Season 8. And that's going to be Damien Leone's Terrifier. And I've been meaning to talk about Terrifier for a long time. So it's time for us to finally go into the modern realm of horror, Robert. Modern horror, Robert. We can leave Michael Myers in the dust, Robert.
Oh no, we can't.
In the dustbin of history.
He's gonna be resurrected.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
There's gonna be another timeline, we know it.
Oh my
Let's
God,
face
you're
it,
not wrong, dude.
Michael Myers, like the multiverse, has been played out. Just move the fuck on.
Move the fuck on, Robert.
They do the same thing. How many Supermans have there been? Like 16 Supermans? Come on.
It's time for some brutal horror, Robert. Some brutal fucking horror. This motherfucker.
Or we'll get the Michael Myers multiverse movie.
There we go.
So we'll get the Rob Zombie. We'll get Rob Zombie's
Halloween 3.
Myers. We'll get Halloween 3.
We'll get the Halloween 3. We've always wanted it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Right. We never thought of it that way. Right?
No, you know what? I would fucking watch it. I mean, at this point, we'll watch anything Michael Myers just because it is. But I mean, I would fucking watch it. If they did a multiverse movie, like, fuck it. I mean, you already did Freddy versus Jason. So, like, what would a multiverse Michael Myers movie be? Just have like
Myers,
the original
Myers versus Hellraiser, dude.
Ooh.
Versus
Jason or Freddy or somebody else.
No, it's a Ash versus Hellraiser versus Michael Myers.
Yeah. Perfect.
How far is Elm Street from Haddonfield? Right?
I don't know. I would imagine quite a ways.
Haddonfield, Illinois, and Springfield, Illinois. Right?
No, it's all in Illinois. They wouldn't be very, very far away.
It's all Pasadena, California, originally, though. Right?
Maybe it makes more sense than fucking Crystal Lake in New Jersey.
Right.
I mean, Jesus.
What the hell? Right? Just go to Pasadena, California. Same roads, right?
This motherfucker. God damn it.
That's where it was all shot, right?
God damn it, Robert.
Well, I guess that's about it for us. You can find Collateral Cinema and Collateral Gaming wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all major podcast platforms. Check us out on Good Pods and help us climb up the ranks. We do also have a Patreon where we have exclusive film commentaries. And we are also doing Collateral Let's Play on YouTube. You can go check that out on the Collateral Cinema YouTube channel. And very soon, the Collateral Gaming YouTube channel as well. Something I want to work on during the postseason.
Yes, we will be getting into our Let's Play of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games very soon. Robert hopefully will be joining us for that, and we'll have a good time providing voices for the characters and just trying to figure out all the cases, right, Robert?
Trying to solve all the crimes.
Yes, we got to solve all the crimes, Robert. That's what we got to do: solve all the murders and then the crimes.
They don't pay me enough for that, so.
Well, no. I mean, that's all the salary cutting noises,
The city doesn't pay me enough for this. I'm gonna go back to hanging up sheetrock.
This motherfucker. God damn it, Robert. God fucking damn it.
Oh, sorry.
And you can also check out our TeePublic affiliate link in the show notes, and you can browse
God damn it,
our
you stole it
selection
from me, Bo. I was gonna say that.
Yeah. You can get our selection of hats, shirts, coffee mugs, cell phone cases, tapestries, and much more.
And condoms.
And condoms, yes, and condoms, definitely. Yeah, you can. That's going to be the last thing that you'll see before all of that happens.
And
so,
also
yeah.
strap-ons, because unlike Disney, we are not new to pegging.
No, we are not new to pegging at all. So yes, the official Collateral Cinema strap-on. Buy it now, Robert.
No, I'm good. I don't need it.
You say that, but
just gonna hang it on the wall if I do have it.
Why would you hang it on the wall?
The conversation piece,
God damn it, Robert.
Sorry.
Well, anyway, with all that being said, I've been Ashley Chancellor, and there's only ever going to be one Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Bo Maddox, and motherfuckers are always ice skating uphill.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
That's it?
That's it.
Wait, are you the version of Robert Ortegon that died in 2029? Or are you the version that got washed up and drunk because all his friends died?
Huh. I don't know. 2018 version, maybe?
The 2018 version? Oh my God.
So the version that was that would have been watching Deadpool 2 if you saw it in theaters. Maybe
exactly.
The difference between that version and the version that we know is that you did watch Deadpool 2.
We'll never know, will we?
No, doesn't sound like we will.
We'll never know.
Nope. Damn it.
We are Collateral Cinema.
This fucking podcast. Laters, everybody. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.